Welcome to Kids Express.
Join us as we see kids express their love for Jesus
while developing their character.
On Kids Express!
Thank you for joining us today on Kids Express. We are going to meet a very talented young lady and her little brother who bring joy to people in their community. I'm Aunt Francine.
And I'm Angelica. Can you guess where in the world today's gifts come from? Can you identify what state this is? If you said Florida, you would be correct. Let's welcome Gabriella and Daniel.
Welcome, both of you. I am so delighted to see both of you, and I love your smiles. And what is this? Is this orange blossom honey sticks?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know about you, but I like honey sticks. Do you like bees?
Yes.
I like watching them. We have a little hive at home, and we enjoy watching the bees, but more specifically, this is honey that is made from the blossoms of the oranges in Florida, because Florida is known for its oranges. Interesting. So tell us a little more about Florida.
Florida is on the east side of the United States. It is the southernmost state. They call it the Panhandle State because the shape of it is like the handle of a pan. The state bird is the mockingbird, and the state flower is the orange blossom. And there's two nicknames of Florida: the Sunshine State, the Orange State, and the Alligator State.
Alligator State, yeah. I'd be afraid of the alligators. But you both know a lot about Florida. So what do you like to do in Florida?
We like to go camping. We like to go camping in the state parks and other parks, and sometimes near the beach. When we're in the beach, we like to go swimming and looking for shark teeth.
Shark teeth, what's that? Like the teeth of sharks?
Yes.
So you see them wash up on the shores?
Yes.
I've never looked for those.
That's so clever.
Have you found any?
We haven't found any yet, but our friend gave us some.
Some that your friend found?
Yes.
That's interesting. You're right. I guess since you're by the Atlantic and the Gulf, yeah, you would see some shark teeth. I would think shells or maybe the sand dollars, but I never thought about looking for shark teeth.
I know. And they produce the most orange juice and grapefruits in the U.S. There's a lot of produce of orange juice and grapefruit.
You're right, and St. Augustine is one of the oldest cities in the United States, is in St. Augustine. I think that's very interesting. What I like about Kids Express is I want to hear from you and how you express the love of Jesus with others. So tell us about how you share Jesus.
We go feeding the homeless. In our neighboring church, there's a group of volunteers. They call it Hands for Homeless, and they cook the food while we help pack and distribute it to the homeless. And then after they eat, we help clean up.
Wow.
I like knocking at doors, so we have like books up steps to Christ, and we knock at doors and give Bible studies to them.
How often do you do this?
Feeding the homeless is every Thursdays and Tuesdays.
So twice a week you do this?
Yes.
You keep very busy. Do you get to see the same people?
There's some new ones sometimes.
Sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
So do you know some of them by name and you ask them how they're doing, or?
Yes.
Yeah. What's your favorite part about sharing Jesus with the community every Tuesday and Thursday?
I like when they say thank you and smile at us. And I like it too.
You like it too. Wow. I can only imagine that a lot of them will want to give you a big hug or just tell you their stories.
So what is your favorite part of visiting the people there? I like it that I'm sharing Jesus, and I'm happy that they're happy too.
Yeah, you made a big difference. Yeah, that's very powerful. I'm so glad that you're willing to do that, and that's something that it takes dedication to do it twice a week. I mean, I'm sure your parents are very much involved in that too. And then getting the resources to be able to provide that food for them or those books, it is a commitment, a huge commitment. And I only pray that some of us could do it a little more often, because I don't go out twice a week and witness like that. But I'm so glad that you're doing that. That's a wonderful thing. Let's talk about, since you're so involved with your community and very much involved, I know you want to be more like Jesus, don't you? And each of us want to be more like Jesus. So if there was some character trait that you feel like you need to work on, what would that be?
I want to be eager to obey my mom and dad when they say it's time for worship. Because my mom said that if we put Jesus first in our lives, then He will give us wisdom and He will help us do the right things throughout the day.
Being obedient, you're right. How about you, Daniel?
Me too.
You too? I know we talked a little bit about being enthusiastic. And what does being enthusiastic means? It means being excited about something.
Yeah, especially like when one of your favorite things is coming. Like, what if one of your favorite dresses is coming in the mail? Then you're just waiting for it. Or if you're waiting for your auntie or your cousin to come and you're so happy about it, you're just so happy about it. And especially when you're sharing Jesus with others, you get so enthusiastic to talk about Jesus, and then everyone else likes that.
Motivates other people?
Yeah, it motivates other people. That way they know that they should do it also. That way they can learn about Jesus, and that way they can get encouraged about all of this.
So I'm sure you're enthusiastic to go every Tuesday and Thursday night. Are you excited about going? So you're excited about that. And what makes you so excited is because you're making a difference. But when you're not so excited, give me an example, like you gave an example. I'm not so excited about having to have worship when I'd rather be playing. Is that an example? Is that what you find out? And so how do you stay enthusiastic when mom says, oh, well, let's have worship. Oh, I need you to clean your room. How do you stay motivated or excited about doing what you're supposed to be doing or what God wants you to do? How do you stay enthusiastic?
I pray to God to help me to obey them, and I think of all the things that He does for me, so I have to be obedient to follow Him too.
You're right.
Sometimes. Yeah, and sometimes when, what if you are doing something like cleaning your room, picking up your toys, you're like, I don't want to do that, I'm just so lazy. And so your mom just probably gives you like a prize. I'm going to give you an ice cream or a candy after
so that
you
might
finish
motivate you?
Yes, and then you're going to be like, oh, I want that, I want that, I don't want anything else, I just want that. And so you do it quickly, that way you can get that prize.
You made a good point, but as we get older, should our parents always have to motivate you to be enthusiastic? You know you have to do what is right. So sometimes it's important to figure out why you want to procrastinate, why you want to play with your toys instead of having worship. Like if you're asking mom or dad, no, I want 5 more minutes, please. I want to finish playing with this, and we procrastinate it, right? So we have to figure out, why do we do that? Sometimes it's for selfish reasons, right? Or maybe you don't want to do it, or it's something you don't like doing. Now, hopefully you like having worship, but maybe you like playing more at that time, more than having worship. And so sometimes you have to catch your thinking, don't you? So when you catch your thinking, sometimes you have to tell yourself, is this really what Jesus would want me to do? It's kind of hard to think that way, right? But that's how grown-ups think, is they put what is the long term. And what do you learn when you have worship?
I learned to be reverent and to be happy if we're worshiping God.
And also we can learn how, exactly, to be reverent also. And we can also learn about the Bible stories and how interesting it is, because Bible stories are so interesting to everyone.
So when you catch yourself and you're not so enthusiastic, what's another task that you're not so enthusiastic about doing? Do you have chores?
Yes.
What kind of chores, what is your least favorite chore to do?
Cleaning up toys.
Cleaning up your toys. How about you, Daniel?
Washing the dishes.
Washing the dishes, yeah. That can be a messy job, right? Does it get gooey and you just don't like the feel of it? Yeah, sometimes we all have jobs that we have to do that we don't like doing, but how can we be more enthusiastic? Well, you can think about and look at it in a positive way. Hey, I'm helping mom and dad. I'm making it easier for mom and dad. And maybe I need to remind myself that I have to say, God's trying to teach me something, even though I have to do the dishes, even though I have to pick up the toys, even though I have to fold laundry. He's trying to work on us on something, right?
Mm-hmm. That we can learn how to do all of those traits. And
by doing these traits, we are pleasing whom?
God.
We are pleasing God. And don't we want to please God?
Yes.
So yes, I want us all to stay encouraged to boost our enthusiasm for Christ. And so sometimes we have to tell ourselves, yes, I'm going to put a smile on my face, even though I don't want to do it. And by deciding to choose to do what is right, you're boosting your enthusiasm. Did you ever think of it that way? It's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
Let's read a Bible text. I want to read Acts 17, verse 11. Gabby, can you help me read that for us?
Those were more fair-minded than those in
Thessalonica.
In that day they received the word with all readiness and searched the scriptures daily to find out whether these things were so.
Did you catch that? What were they doing?
They were searching scriptures.
They were searching the scriptures with how much? With just a little bit of eagerness?
No.
With eagerness.
With a lot of eagerness, with almost as much eagerness. They just wanted to search the scriptures. Is that a testimony for us that we need to be able to search the scripture with all eagerness? I have to admit, when I'm tired, do you think I feel like reading the scriptures in the evening? No. Sometimes or in the morning, we slack, but we have to have that eagerness, and we have to boost our eagerness and say, all right, what would you have me do, Jesus? I'm so glad that Jesus is there to always help us. I think it's time for a question. What is our question for today?
So this question comes from Love in Missouri. And she asked, how do we tell non-Christian people about our faith without trying to force them and not make them feel bad for not having the same faith?
Thank you, Love. That's a wonderful question, because we do want to have that enthusiasm, and we want our friends to have that enthusiasm about Jesus, but sometimes they're just not ready. And the best thing that we can do is to follow God's example and just be a sermon in shoes, I call it. But I'm thinking of a story in Mark, and we find that story where Jesus has healed a man who wanted Jesus and wanted to be with Jesus and follow him right then and there. But Jesus said, I need you to go home to your friends and tell them what great things the Lord has done for you and how he has had compassion on you. So the man wanted to follow Jesus, but God said, what's more important? Tell others about it and show that enthusiasm that you have. And so we need to boost our enthusiasm so that others will want to follow Jesus, because if we're enthusiastic, they too can be enthusiastic. So giving a sermon and just telling them all about the Bible is not always the best. Sometimes it's just being there and being their friend and being that sermon in shoes that we can talk about. So I'm so glad that you've joined us here on Kids Express.
Thank you.
And helping us learn to be more enthusiastic. Thank you so much, and we thank you as well at home, and we hope that you use every opportunity to be a sermon in shoes and show that enthusiasm with others. Thanks for joining us on
Kids Express!